The far range, at first starting out, seemed like an innocent world dominated by bubbly little slimes, where you explore and collect resources for profit. However, after update 0.5.0, it changed how we see the game by introducing ancient civilizations. While the game does hold its innocent charm even after the update, the introduction of the ancient ruins makes me wonder, what were these ruins used for? And importantly, who were the beings that created them? In part 1 of this mini-series, I'm going to explore the secrets within the most mysterious area in the game, the ancient ruins. Home to the quantum slimes and main area to collect echoes, let us explore the area that is the ancient ruins. Let's get ranching. Before you can enter the ancient ruins, you first need to unlock the giant slime gate that borders the courtyard. In this courtyard, it is the main transition point for either Moss Blanket and Indigo Quarry. The giant slime gate can only be opened by plorts from 6 different slimes: Tappy, Rock, Phosphor, Honey, Boom, and Rad are all required to be shot into the respective plort statues. There is also a pink plort statue, but it is already activated. I found it very interesting that there are 6 statues, each representing the individual slime, but not Hunter, Puddle, Quantum, and Crystal. I theorize that these groups of slimes either didn't exist during the construction of the ruins, or their plorts wasn't needed at all. I can understand Dervish, Tangled, Saber, Fire, Mosaic, Quicksilver, Gold, and Lucky Slimes weren't given statues of their own, maybe due to either rarity or unavailability. Another thing I want to point out is when you first enter the courtyard, the pink plort is already in its respective slot. Did someone place the plort before the player arrived? Or was it always in its slot? If so, what happened to the rest of the statue's plorts? It could be that Obson might have closed the passage to the ruins, but for what reason? Additionally, are the slime chorus whenever you place a plort to its respective statue? What are these ghostly mystical slimes? Are they the spirits that linger in this mystical fortress? I theorize they are the twinkle slimes watching the player. We had heard slimes sing before, but not to a degree how the ghostly slimes would. Besides, the courtyard doesn't hold any life of slimes anywhere, just old ruins. Already, just the courtyard is holding many secrets that we don't know yet. Well, I think it is time to move on to the real meat of the video, which is what is behind the giant slime gates. Finally, the ancient ruins. Oh man, where to begin? I guess I can start with the switches and doors scattered across the ruins. The switches seem to be activated by a push of the button. Surrounding it looks like a metal plating with some sort of energy sparking out of it. An energy that looks quite similar to the quantum slimes. Getting close to the doors, it looks like it's made out of shattered shards that are only obtained in the glass desert. Keep that in mind because I will get back to that point later. For now, I want to focus on mainly the ruins. Inside the buildings are little rooms and corridors, each not having much other than slimes. Vegetation has dominated the landscape that once held the history of the past. Tumbling structures that once held the outside elements at bay. Now nature is the true rulers of this land. With it are the slimes that go through life without a care in the world. Despite this, there are some fascinating pieces to puzzle together of what this great civilization was like. The first thing I assume is water irrigation. Most of the room has these old transparent tubes running across the place. Inside these tubes are water from an unknown source, so I have to guess for watering crops? Unfortunately, it is hard to know what the water is used for exactly when many of the pipes are either destroyed from time or blocked. Let's move away from the ruins to mention how water works in this game. There's 3 types of water: slime sea, fresh water, and ancient water. Focusing on only fresh water and slime sea, it is very safe to swim in fresh water, not just for us, but also slimes as well. While the slime sea knocks you out completely and manages to make slimes disappear from contact. I theorize that the puddle slimes is responsible for purifying the slime sea into fresh, drinkable, and swimmable water source for anyone to enjoy. Just think about it. In every area with fresh water, there is some puddle slime happily floating over the surface, minding its own business. Now, coming back to the ruins, one of the rooms not only has fresh water, but also puddle slimes. And that's what I think the irrigation is for, purifying the slime sea into fresh water and used for drinking, wandering, and possibly bathing. That's a theory though. I don't have proof that might be the case, but it might be possible. Before I move on to the rest of the ruins, it is important to mention echoes. In the Slimepedia, it states that echoes are a form of energy caused by an ancient event. Kind of reminds me of will-o-wisp, where in mythology, depending on the culture, can represent a soul, fairy, or other supernatural beings. The difference is that echoes can be easily collected and used as decorations. They're basically balls of energy that's more than likely are connected to the aftermath of what happened to the great civilization. Moving along to the surface, where we somewhat get a clear picture of what the ruins might have looked like. Large arching tower structures that make it stand out from any other area within the world. Walls once held the residence of those who once lived there is now forgotten. A ghost town with only the comfort of slimes and nature taking hold. By the layout of the area, it doesn't seem like a place for anyone to settle, rather a place for worship. There are very few homes that have a place for a group to live, but other than that, how the area is structured is more of a hangout. Look how the tower and upper ruins are structured, very open space with little protection from the potential of tar. Very high ceilings for an average-sized human to go through freely. Did the ancients of the past have similar height as we do, or a door creating large open corridors to feel larger? What makes it more frustrating is that there isn't hieroglyphics, pottery, or written information to aid us on what the ruins were used for. Speaking of large, are these stone arches that are built across the ruins. Some seem intact while others are badly damaged. These arches were likely meant for decoration or something more, maybe used for astronomy to read the stars like how our ancestors did in the past. The stone edge, for example, was used as a kind of solar calendar to track the movement of the sun and moon and mark the changing seasons. Could be the same with the arches. While on the topic of arches, I want to point out something really interesting about them while exploring the area. I am unsure if it's moss or not, but it seems these structures might be slowly decaying. In the very entrance of the slime gate, before you enter the ruins, there is an arc above where it has an odd texture than the other arches. It doesn't have that brick stony look, but rather material from the surrounding mountains. Was this stone arch under construction but wasn't completed? Or are the ruins actually decaying from time? Quite a mystery. Now, moving away once again from the ruins to the resources and items you can build. Unfortunately, you cannot use extractors to harvest any unique materials from the region. What you can get, however, are decorations. Going through all the ancient ruins decorations and bios, there are two that pique my interest: glow sticks and crystal scones. These two are common around the area and are mainly used for light sources. What makes them fascinating is what the bio states. Starting with glow sticks bio, though these luminescent devices are similar to other elements of the ruins, they are not nearly as old. What does it mean by nearly as old? Was the discovery of glow sticks made after the creation of the ruins? Before glow sticks, did they use phosphorus slimes as a source of natural light while building the ruins? And now, in crystal scones bio is not much to pick at, but rather the material that is used to build it. Many of the materials are commonly used to build other decorations, but what it requires is excomb. Why excomb? Excomb can be uncommonly extracted everywhere in the world as long as it uses the Iperi extractor. However, it is more common in the moss blanket, which is next door to the ancient ruins. So it appears some materials are imported from other places around the world to form these ancient towers. Advanced as these ancient beings were, no signs of ancient extractors were made, so they might have done it by hand or other means to claim these precious resources. Remember earlier in the video I mentioned about glass shards can be obtained in the glass desert? I want to go back to that because it is very related to the ancient ruins. The very north of the ancient ruins is a small temple. Inside of it are a twist of corridors that leads to a long hallway. At the very end of the hallway is a strange structure. This structure is connected by tubes that run across the walls, and statues are used to power it all. Already, you can see familiar items: the statues, pipes, and glow sticks. What's new from all of this is not the layout, but the flooring and the ceiling. At first, I thought these floorings were made out of glass shards. However, it's actually made out of strange diamond material. This would make sense because in the wiki bio, it states that it is used for warp tech technology. Guess what this ceiling and flooring is made out of? In many ways, the ancient beings were not only brilliant architects, but also had very advanced technology. Throughout the video, I mentioned the ruins, but not the current residents, quantum slimes. For the longest time, I assumed that the quantums were once pink slimes that were turned yellow due to a drastic event that happened long ago. Now I realize that it isn't the case because of the many uses of quantum plorts that is needed to form these structures, even more so for the teleporters. It could be the quantum slimes was some sort of aftermath experiment from the ancients. If that was the case, the face lemons were also an experiment because of the quantum's love for that particular food. It is really difficult to know what the origins of the quantum slimes or if they were the cause of the sudden disappearance of the great civilization that once roamed this world. And the bio of the quantum slimes states that emitting other realities of their being causes them to teleport. This unique ability allows them to gap through realities, giving them a peek of when or what may happen within these different realms. So, in a sense, they are a key to what might have taken place hundreds of years ago. Unfortunately, we are unable to speak with these ghostly slimes. If we were able to talk, what would they say? Tell the many stories of their ancestors who once lived among the ancients of the past. Maybe speak for hours of the thousands of realities they can see. It would make things a lot more easier. For now, their knowledge is forever trapped with the walls of the ancient ruins. Sorry if the script seems a little scattered. There was a lot of information I wanted to share. I will make sure next time the writing is more consistent. If you have your own findings in the ancient ruins, comment down below. I might add another part to the video if there is some more discoveries you guys want to share. Thank you for watching. Like always, stay wiggly everyone.